Hey guys, hope you're doing well. In today's video I'm going to be giving you a 5-month update on my jungle fish bowl aquascape. In the last update I trimmed back the Helanthium tenellum green carpet, and now the plant's recovered from the trimming, it's starting to show new growth again. As always, the Limnophila has been growing really quickly. Some of it has started to drape into the foreground, so I think it's time just to trim it back a little bit. There's only a tiny bit of algae growth on the glass, so I need to clean that up too. Overall, this maintenance session won't take too long, so with that all being said, let's get started. If you guys watched the last update video on this fish bowl, I added some red root floaters to the bowl. This plant has been growing really well recently and started to cover the whole surface of the water. So before I do any maintenance on this bowl, I need to remove all the floating plants just to make things a little bit easier. I'm going to be putting these red root floaters in a bucket of water just to keep them hydrated. They'll be fine in the bucket for a little bit of time. With the red root floaters now removed from the bowl, I can siphon out some of the water from the fish bowl. I'll be removing the water in 2 stages. I'll remove 25% of the water now and 25% later to make a 50% water change. I do it this way because I found I get clearer water quicker compared to when I do one big siphon of all the water. With some of the water now removed from the bowl, it's going to make trimming a lot easier. The Limnophila in this bowl grows so quickly. I would say some of the stems are reaching about 30 to 40 centimeters in length. I have noticed some of the growth starts to get a little bit ropey. This may be down to the floating plants reducing the amount of light reaching the bowl. Some people say you need highlight along with CO2 and fertilisers to get really compact bushy growth out of stem plants. So I shouldn't really complain about the growth I'm getting. This is an ultra low tech setup, meaning we're not using any CO2 fertilisers and we're using quite low light settings too. What I'm doing right now is I'm replanting some of the stems I trimmed off earlier. Some of the Limnophila stems had some roots coming off them. Since they have these roots growing off the side of them, they should be able to grow independently. By reusing these trimmings, I'm hoping to make a more bushy appearance around the back of the fish bowl. Now I'm going to move on to clean the glass of the fish bowl. I found that using a toothbrush made it so easy to clean the round sides of the fish bowl. Even though there's only a little bit of visible algae, I want to give the bowl a full clean. There's probably a really thin layer of algae growing around the glass. If I can clean that before it grows any more, then I won't get any visible algae growth. The hardest area to clean in the bowl is where the foreground plants are. I need to be a little bit careful here as I don't want to disrupt the substrate on the plants too much. Here's the second half of the water change I'm going to be doing. I'll be removing another 25% of the water from the fish bowl to make a 50% water change. As I'm doing the maintenance on the fish bowl, a lot of debris and detritus into the water column. By siphoning out the water in 2 parts, it will allow me to remove some of the debris and detritus that are in the water column at the moment. Then later, when I top the bowl up with fresh clean water, I should get clearer water a lot quicker. Now that I'm done removing all the water from the fish bowl, it's time to top it up with fresh clean water. I've tried to make sure that the new water being added is about the same temperature as the water in the fish bowl. This is important especially in the colder months as I don't want to cause a temperature shock on the fish and shrimp. At the moment, the temperature in the bowl is quite stable. On average, the water is about 18 degrees Celsius. With all the water being added to the fish bowl, some of the plant trimmings are floated up to the surface. I'm just going to use my trim net to remove any excess plant matter from the fish bowl. The more of this I can remove, the better, as I don't want it to rot away in the fish bowl. If it does start to rot away in the fish bowl, it may be a trigger for algae growth. The more of this I can remove, the better it's going to be in the long term. Now with most of the maintenance now done, we can re-add the floating plants back to the bowl. I think the floating plants make this scape look a lot better, especially from the top. At the moment, my red root floaters are looking a little bit green. I might try and increase the intensity of the light this plant's getting. Doing this might make the plant's leaves change from green to red. Now all the maintenance is pretty much done. Things are starting to look a lot better now in the bowl. The water's looking a little bit murky and cloudy right now. There's still a bunch of debris and detritus in the water column. In a few hours time, all these particles start to settle down to the bottom of the fish bowl. When this happens, we should get some clearer water in the bowl. I definitely noticed this month there's a lot less algae growth in the fish bowl. The floating plants seem to be doing a good job at using any excess nutrients that are in the water column. Along with that, they seem to also reduce the amount of light in the fish bowl. I think these 2 factors are why there's less algae growth this month. Now here's the fish bowl about 4 hours later. All those particles that were floating in the water column have now settled down to the bottom of the fish bowl. This is how the water's looking a lot clearer now. Overall, I'm really happy with how quickly this aquascape's matured. In the past 5 months I've seen so much plant growth. I guess this is one of the benefits of using faster growing plants in your aquascapes. The faster your plants grow, the quicker your aquascape can mature. I'm thinking about not trimming this fish bowl for a few months and letting it go wild. Let me know if you guys think I should do this, leave a comment below. Since I do have a lot of floating plants growing on the surface right now, it can make it a little bit difficult to feed the fish. Food can get stuck on the leaves really easily, and this will make it really hard for the fish to get any food. So to fix this problem, I decided to make a little feeding ring. I made the feeding ring by using a little bit of airline tubing and a connector too. It only took like a minute to make and it was super easy too. Here was the feeding ring I made. Now with the feeding ring in the fish bowl, I need to remove all the floating plants so I can feed the fish properly. I'm hoping my quick DIY trick does the job. If it doesn't, then I have to think of another solution to feed my fish. The feeding ring also gives me a little top-down view into the fish bowl. I'm hoping the guppies will start to gather around the feeding ring. It'll be nice to see their amazing colours from a different angle. The only problem I think I'm going to get with this feeding ring is that the floating plants may start to grow into the open space, so I might need to keep on removing the plants just to keep the ring clear. Now with all the floating plants removed from the feeding ring, it's going to make it a lot easier to feed my fish now. At the moment I'm feeding them some high-carbon nano pellets. I like to crush these up so the baby guppies can eat them too. This food really brings out the best colours in these guppies. It's pretty much my go-to food to feed all my fish. They all seem to love this stuff, especially all the nano fish. To end the video, I've got some extra footage of the fish and shrimp to show you guys. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this update video on my jungle aquascape fish bowl aquarium. Let me know in the comments below if you think I should just let this scape go wild. It'll be really interesting to see what the scape will look like when it's uncontrolled. Just before I go, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more videos on my channel, please subscribe.